back, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Pakulski here, another session of Educate and Dominate. A question I get all the time is, how often should I train a body part? So one thing that I like to do, instead of giving you guys definitive answers, which I don't believe anyone should give, I try to just educate you and have you come to the conclusion yourself. Typically people will say, oh, you need to train once every 7 days, once a week. The question is that enough? Well, I don't know, or is it too much? That's something you guys can determine yourself by applying simple logic. So ultimately, training causes muscle damage. Simple, we all know this. Muscles will typically recover in typically 48 to 72 hours. Working out exercise will also increase protein synthesis within a muscle, or at least increase the need for protein within a muscle for about 72 hours. So depending on, obviously, it's variable according to how hard the exercise is. If it's a really hard workout, it may be longer. If it's a really, less intense workout, it may be a little bit shorter. So gauge that yourself based on, man, I really kicked my own butt today. Maybe I need 5 days between workouts before I can do it again. Or, hey, I just trained my arms a little bit today. I can definitely do them again in 2 to 3 days. So ultimately, you're looking for the cues for recovery. You want to check for, obviously, soreness. But then again, it's not the worst thing to train when you're a little bit sore, just to give you guys a heads up. But you want to look out for perceived strength. Grip strength is a really good indication that you've recovered or not, of the nervous system anyways. Or inflammation. I always look for inflammation. If the muscle feels like it's really swollen or inflamed, or if the joints are inflamed a little bit, then back off, take another day or two. But if it's not, every 3 to 5 days is usually seem to be optimal for training a body part. So larger body parts may take a little longer to recover. So my legs, I may only train every 5 to 6 days, whereas and back, the same thing, 4 to 5 days. Whereas arms, I could train every other day or every third day, because the smaller body part doesn't require as much, or doesn't cause as much neurological stress and neurological overload. So ultimately, you can train the smaller body parts, chest, even pecs, every 3 days or so. A lot of people ask, Ben, how often do you train your calves? To be honest, I don't train them very often anymore. But the true story is, I train them every day for 5 years. So I put about 5 inches on them in 5 years, from the time I was 16 to 21. My training partners will attest to that. I used to have good shape, didn't really have big calves, but training them every day. And people go, oh, Ben, what did you do for every day for 5 years? Well, think about it. If you train the same body part every day for 5 years, what would you do? Probably everything under the sun. You come up with every different creative way to absolutely annihilate yourself. One day it's going to be supersets, drop sets. Next day is going to be heavy. The next day is going to be sets of 50 to 100. It really changed every day. So be creative, think outside the box, and that's how you're going to build muscle. So that's it. BPAC, over and out.